It is with the deepest sadness and the greatest appreciation for Jim's contribution to our country that I send my condolences and that of his many friends in the United States Congress to Michael and to Allison, Ann, Elizabeth, James Jr., and Sarah as we celebrate Jim Hormel's life and mourn his passing. As a longtime friend of Jim and as a proud San Francisco representative of San Francisco, it's a privilege to do so and to join so many from our community, indeed the entire country, who love Jim. My husband Paul, our children, and I first met Jim in the early 1980s. Jim worked with me to bring the Democratic National Convention to San Francisco. We became fast friends, sharing a love for politics, the arts, and community service. At the 1984 convention, Jim opened his home to Democrats from across the country so that we could bring the convention into the community. This was especially important because it helped dispel fear of AIDS from the delegates. Several years later, Jim gave me the honor of chairing my campaign for Congress. We worked together to advance civil rights, education, equality, and later joyously rode together in the San Francisco Pride Parade just days after the Supreme Court legalized marriage equality in 2013. The following year, I had the great joy of officiating at Jim and Michael's wedding, a memory I will always cherish. And the love that Jim and Michael shared was a legendary and great blessing to behold. It is fitting, of course, that Jim's name is etched in history as the first openly gay U.S. ambassador. He had the courage to be a pioneer, the patriotism to accept the challenge, and the perseverance to make a difference. It was challenging, and he was charming. But it is his goodness and greatness that are forever etched in the hearts of all who know him. He gave us love, confidence, and inspiration. Jim once said, "At the very core of our beings is love. And if we aren't willing to share that love, to express it and experience it, then conditions of discrimination will persist." Love is why, when the AIDS crisis descended upon San Francisco, he called on our conscience and rallied our city to help our neighbors suffering from the disease. It was sad to see him mourn so many friends, but he expanded his concern to all. The last time I saw Jim and Michael was in June. We spent the day in Golden Gate Park welcoming the AIDS quilt home to the National AIDS Memorial Grove, a special homecoming, where I was proud to recognize Jim's global contributions to HIV/AIDS and the LGBTQ concerns globally again. Love is why he founded the James C. Hormel Center in the Public Library, one of the world's largest collections of gay and lesbian literature, so that all San Franciscans and all who visit can experience LGBTQ writers' contribution to the arts, which brings us together. Love is why Jim gave us his time to so many causes and was honored for his generosity, both so many organizations, from Equality California to National Philanthropy Day to Project Open Hand to the Shanty Project, the list goes on and on. Love is why, in his 70s, after accomplishing already so much, he said, to my daughter Christine, he said, "This is my fight now, to fight for marriage equality." Love is why when Jim engaged in conversation with you, he would look at you with those beautiful, piercing, beautiful eyes and truly connect, holding you in his gaze and in his heart. Indeed, Jim's love of his neighbors, friends, and family made him a revered figure in our community. Love is bright when Jim talks about his family, the pride and joy he takes in his children and grandchildren and the reunions they shared. May it be a comfort to Michael and to Jim's children, again, Allison, Ann, Elizabeth, James Jr., and Sarah, that so many mourn their loss and pray for them at this sad time. I'm really shaken to be delivering this remotely. I love Jim so much. I miss him so much. It breaks my heart that the necessities of congressional business, so urgent at this time, prevent me from being there. But Jim wants me to be doing my job. So again, may it be a comfort that Jim's extraordinary life will always serve as a beacon of hope and promise for LGBTQ Americans and all people across our country and around our world. Thank you, Jim. We miss you. May you rest in peace.